Hi, this is Lavanya Sitaraman. I'm presenting paper on self-adaptation in mobile apps, a systematic literature study. The smartphone has now become more integral component of life. Today, the users expect the system to operate whenever and wherever they want. In order to always provide the full service, the mobile application needs to detect and deal with the changes in the context. Developing, configuring, and maintaining such system is a very difficult and time-consuming task. So, one promising way to reduce this effort is self-adaptation. While there is a lot of work that has been done in the field of self-adaptation, authors explored that there is no published literature review that shows self-adaptation in the specific context of mobile application. Authors believe that there is a knowledge gap present with the self-adaptive system in the context of mobile application. So authors decided to apply a large systematic literature review methodology. They targeted peer-reviewed papers that focus on self-adaptability in the context of mobile application. In this stage, the authors perform automated search on Google Scholar. The search string can be divided into three main components, one for each line of the listing, where the first component captures the self-adaptability systems, the second captures the mobile nature of targeted approaches, and the third one is about the apps and application. The search string has been tested by executing pilot search on the Google Scholar in order to keep the results of this initial search as focused as possible. The authors have considered the time frame from 2007 to 2018. After doing the initial search, they have the selection criteria. In this stage, authors consider all the 607 studies resulting from initial search and filtered them according to the set of well-defined inclusion and exclusion criteria. Each paper is included as a primary study if it satisfies all the inclusion criteria, and it is discarded if it meets any exclusion criteria. After applying the selection criteria, only 42 papers were selected out of 607 studies. Next is the exclusion during the data extraction. When going through each primary study in detail for extracting information, authors agreed that 6 analyzed studies were semantically out of the scope of this research and they excluded them, leading to 36 potential relevant studies. After that, snowballing. The main goal of this stage is to enlarge the set of potential relevant studies by considering each study selected in the previous stages and focusing on those papers either citing and cited by it. More technically, they performed a closed recursive backward and the forward snowballing activity. Duplicates have been removed at each iteration of the snowballing activity. Finally, exclusion during the second data extraction. In this phase, they extracted the data from the 12 additional papers resulting from snowballing activity and agree that 6 of them are semantically out of the scope of this research and they excluded them. This final check leads to the final set of 42 primary studies which are then analyzed in detail for answering the following research questions. Most of the works that is related to the secondary studies on the self-adaptation. The first author focused on the requirement modeling and analysis for the self-adaptive system. They carried out a systematic literature review of 101 primary studies from which they revoked 16 modeling methods and 10 requirement quality attributes. The second author surveyed the engineering approaches found for the self-adaptive system. They aim to use the taxonomy for self-adaptation extended with the context perspective. And the third author analyzed the self-adaptability from the perspective of computer science and the cybernetics and examined the state-of-art technique used for the self-adaptation. And those authors believe that feedback control and the artificial intelligence has a ability to develop self-adaptive systems. And the fourth author conducted a systematic literature review of 54 primary studies with the goal of understanding state-of-art architecture-based methods for handling multiple quality attributes in the self-adaptive system. And the fifth author focused on self-adaptation in the context of cyber-physical systems and analyzed 42 primary studies. As part of their main results, the authors found MAP, monitor, analyze, plan, and execute as the most common mechanism used to perform adaptation in this context. And finally, Winsley examined the claims that are associated with the self-adaptation. They analyzed 96 primary studies identified from the SIMS conference series between 2006 and 2011, and also the papers published in 2008. The main focus is on architecture and the models, and the most common application domain is service-based systems. And at the time of publishing, only a few empirical studies were performed with no industrial evidences. In spite of relatively large number of secondary studies on the self-adaptation and self-adaptive system, none explored the state of art of self-adaptation in the context of mobile application. This study certainly fills this gap, which with the increasing pervasiveness of mobile software in all application domains is turning into the necessity. The customized classification framework is presented in this table. This figure shows a distribution of the goals characteristics across the primary studies. The most common quality attributes are performance, efficiency, and energy. This is an expected result since both performance and energies are fundamental aspects of the user in the mobile application, but also potentially impacting the app as a user rating and the reviews. It also contribute to the app success. And in terms of evolution, authors observed that the vast majority of primary studies presents a system with statically defined goals, whereas only 3 primary studies present an approach in which the goals can evolve during the execution of the system. The flexibility dimension is quite fragmented. We can see pretty evenly distributed among rigid, constrained, and unconstrained goals, with a slight tendency towards unconstrained goals. If we examine the duration attribute, authors observe that most of the primary studies support goals with persistent validity, as opposed to only 5 studies supporting the temporary goals. Last, authors focused on the goals on multiplicity. We can observe that majority of primary studies have multiple goals. This result has to do with most systems employing self-adaptation not only to optimize the system in terms of single dimension, but also they focused on trade-off among different dimensions and types of resources such as internet connectivity, CPU usage, and user experience. The next research question is changes triggering self-adaptation. This figure shows that the most common source of changes is the hardware of the device and the second is internet connectivity. This result can be varied due to the nature of mobile application being deployed on the smartphones. And if you see the frequency, the most common type of changes are frequent. This result was expected, especially from having observed that two most common sources of changes, that is hardware and the internet connectivity, and that by their own nature, their status can drastically change in the matter of nanoseconds. And if you see the anticipation of changes, the changes are mostly foreseen, followed by fewer occurrence of approaches supporting foreseeable changes. It is important to note that in self-adaptability system, foreseen changes are known at the design time and considered as expected to occur during normal operation of the system. So there is a two type of foreseen changes are there. One is we know at the runtime, we know at the design time. And if you go for the research question third, that is mechanism for self adaptation, the type of self adaptation supported is more than half of the primary study is structural, that is adaptation involves structural changes in the software architecture of the system. This result can be explained by the high number of primary studies focusing on communication middleware, generic frameworks, and meta approaches, which allow the self adaptation process to reconfigure the architecture of the system at the runtime. And if you see the anatomy, we can observe that nearly all the approaches are autonomous. This result is most likely influenced by the definition of self adaptation that authors have used throughout the study, in which the system has to be able to self adapt and therefore can have minimal human assistance in the process. And authors found that 3 primary studies presenting human assisted approaches, and the organization attribute is almost evenly split among the primary studies. This implies that we have nearly just as many primary studies where adaptation is centralized into single component as a system where adaptation is distributed among the several components. By considering the mobile enabled environment, examining the scope of the self-adaptation, authors notice that vast majority of self-adaptation mechanisms are executed in the application itself. Regarding the duration of mechanism, authors notice that vast majority of mechanisms have a short duration followed by 6 approaches having medium duration and only 2 approaches have longer duration. And if you consider the timeliness attribute falls fully in the best effort bin, and there are no primary studies proposing a guaranteed time for the self-adaptation process. This result is extremely interesting since some of the application domains it may be strict a requirement to know and respect upper bounds on the execution time of the self-adaptation process. For example, emergency-related post-disaster apps. And finally, self-adaptation triggering. All the primary studies are based on event-triggered mechanism. This result is quite expected given that mobile apps are mostly front-end software reacting either to user or the system generated events. And the final question of the effects of self-adaptation. Starting with criticality, authors observe that majority of primary studies describes a self-adaptation process that has the harmless impact on the system. In such case, adaptation were to fail. And 14 and 17 studies have shown mission critical and safety critical consequences respectively. In terms of predictability, the majority of self-adaptation approaches are deterministic, followed by 12 approaches with non-deterministic effects. This means that in the majority of cases, the users of self-adaptive approaches known the possible status of mobile app after the adaptation. Examining overhead, authors observed nearly even distribution among all the possible values, ranging from insignificant to reasonable, and finally to the system failure overhead. The relatively high number of primary studies whose approaches may lead to the system failures is mainly due to the relatively high number of approaches cloud offloading. Finally, under resilience, there is a nearly even number of resilient and semi-resilient approaches, with hardly any being vulnerable in the figure 6. Resilience is defined as a persistence of service delivery that can justifiably be trusted when facing changes. As an example of approaching falling under the vulnerable category, 4 cases of falls and failures of the context-aware adaptive applications is presented in the related work. As per the paper, starting from 607 possibly relevant studies, authors found only 42 primary studies that they analyzed via the presented classification framework, but wrongly they mentioned 44 studies in the abstract and the conclusion of the paper. Thank you.